Hi you all, I'm Shell. Welcome to the channel. It's been almost a year since I started my breast cancer journey. I've had the surgery, I had a lumpectomy, I've had chemotherapy, I've gone through radiation, and I am cancer free. Thank God. Radiation and chemo are terrible. And there's a lot of different side effects, but throughout my journey, a lot of people, coworkers or friends, even family, the number one question that they ask is, how did I know I had breast cancer? The best question you can ask someone that has had cancer or any sort of other ailment, because if you can discover it early and take the steps to resolve it early, it could be the difference between like a mastectomy instead of the lumpectomy I got. It could be the difference between taking more chemo, more radiation, and ultimately could be the difference between life or death. Now, how I found out that I had it, I was having pain in my breast, in my right breast. And I found out that I'm not the only one that has had pain in the breast. Now, for me, it was weird because all my life I've heard from doctors that if you have pain, that's good, because cancer is not painful. So if you have pain, that means you don't have cancer. That is false. And it's not just me, because once I actually had breast cancer and talked to other people, they said the same thing, that they were told there's no pain, but yet they felt pain, or their friend that got it, or their cousin that got it, or whoever had pain. So for me, I had a shooting pain, like as if somebody had electrocuted me in the breast. I had a pain shooting through my breast, and I went to the doctor. This was last year in February. Went to the doctor. He was like, okay, let's do a mammogram. Did the mammogram. Went back to get the read on the mammogram from him, and the doctor was like, I don't see anything on here, everything looks normal. Compared it to the mammogram from the previous year. So, you might just be having like perimenopause pains. And I'm like, okay, if that's what it is, okay. So a couple months go by, and I'm still getting these shooting pains. It's not like every day, it's like every other week or every 3 weeks. But it's like a pain that's it hurts so bad that I like literally have to grab my boob, try and like compress the pain so that it's not as painful. One morning I woke up and I had a bruise on my breast, like right on the top, and it looked like someone punched me. Like it was like the size of a fist. So contact the doctor, schedule an appointment, let the doctor know what's going on. He's like, well, there was nothing on the mammogram, so let's hook you up with the breast clinic, because they'll know, like they're the experts on the breast, so they'll be able to tell me more. I'm like, all right. So schedule an appointment. Like days in a row, I'm waking up with these bruises on my breast, and throughout the day they would go away. So finally it comes time for my appointment at the breast clinic, which like I had to wait like a month to get in. And the doctor, I had a female doctor there. She did a breast exam. She's like, I don't feel anything, everything feels good, nothing feels different. I'm telling her about the pains, I'm telling her about the bruises. She's saying that she doesn't see anything on the mammogram, and it's got to be perimenopause, and gave me a book on menopause and everything. And I was like, no, this is not this is not no perimenopause pain. Like, something is wrong. So we go back and forth a little bit. And then finally she's like, okay, you know, well, we can schedule you an ultrasound just to be sure, but I don't think they're going to find anything on it. I'm like, all right, cool. Well, you know, go ahead and put in the referral for the ultrasound. So she puts in about June when she put in for the ultrasound. So I scheduled the ultrasound, which is probably like middle of July. And which, by the way, is like I said, almost a year from now. My birthday was just yesterday, and this happened like a couple weeks after my birthday when I went and got the ultrasound. So I went and got the ultrasound. It was a nurse practitioner. It was kind of painful, but you know, they got to check everything. They're trying to get in deep. I have larger breasts, so she's checking. She's telling me, you know, everything she sees. She's describing, okay, like this right here is a cyst, or you know, if it was fibro, this is how it would look. And then she gets to a point where she's like, and all of a sudden it's quiet. And she starts taking measurements on the screen. And I'm like, well, you know, what's wrong? She's like, well, I see something, but I'm not sure what I'm seeing, so I'm gonna get the doctor. I'm like, oh, shoot. So she leaves out, comes back in, the doctor comes in. She's telling the doctor what she saw. So the doctor, she starts doing an ultrasound, and she gets to that point and she's like, she was like, I can't tell you that is not a cancerous mass. She's saying that, you know, cysts and fibroids, they're smooth. You know, she's telling me the shape of them, and she's like, this is not. It's like, you know, it's not a smooth shape. She's like, I can do a biopsy. Like, we need to do a biopsy to find out if it's cancerous or not. I'm like, all right, you know. She's like, you know, if you can stay today, you know, I'll work some things around and I can do it, like, you know, within the hour. I'm like, all right, you know, called my supervisor. I let her know I wasn't coming back into work. Got the biopsy. Doctor comes back in the room just before the biopsy. She says, you know, I saw your file, and it's a good thing you were persistent, because with the location of this mass would never have been caught on the mammogram, because it's against your chest wall, and the mammogram machine can only see what is put into the mammogram machine. So I'm like, okay, we'll get the biopsy done. It was maybe on a Thursday. I believe it was a Thursday that I had it done, because I didn't go to work. I didn't go to work that afternoon, and I didn't go to work Friday morning because I still had pain from the biopsy. And the following week, maybe on Tuesday, I got the call while I was at work, and it was a nurse. She was very gentle in her using her words, but she was direct as well. And she basically let me know that the tissue from the biopsy that was tested positive for cancer. So, you know, she gave me the following steps. You know, who all I needed to call, different phone numbers, if I needed support, if I needed counseling. She was very thorough, very informative, and you could hear the empathy in her voice as well. Probably was very stressful on her part, as it was on mine, hearing the news. And I didn't tell anyone right away, because if I'm trying to stay calm and I'm trying to think about the situation logically, I'm trying to process the information, I can't do that if someone else is hysterical, or if I'm being asked 150 billion questions. Like, I literally just found this out, and I'm trying to process it as well. So I knew I couldn't tell anyone in my family, because the emotions would be high. And then I want to say that's probably the worst part, is dealing with other people's emotions when you're trying to process your own emotions. But that's how I found out that I had breast cancer. I hope this information is helpful to someone. If you've enjoyed listening, please give this video a thumbs up. If you've had an experience with breast cancer, tell me about it in the comments. Let's have some discussion. And if you want to hear more, go ahead and give me a subscribe. Stay safe always, and God bless.